My precious child, listen carefully because what I am about to share with you tonight is something that was meant to find you at this very moment. This message did not reach you by accident. Among so many people searching, watching, and moving through countless videos, somehow your attention stopped here. Your eyes remained on these words for a reason. There is a deeper significance behind this moment. And before this message comes to an end, you will understand something important about a person who has been confusing you for a long time. There is someone in your life who has been acting differently. They have created distance. They have grown quiet. And sometimes it feels like they are distancing themselves from you. But the truth is, even when they step back, something inside them will not completely let you go. There is a bond they cannot easily put into words. There is a feeling they continue to hold, even when they try to conceal it, even from themselves. Do not leave before hearing the entire message, because what you are about to discover may completely transform the way you see this situation. There is someone, a very specific person, who has deeper feelings for you than you currently understand. When everything around them becomes quiet, when the distractions fade away, and they are left alone with their own thoughts, you are the person who comes to mind. They remember conversations you shared. They replay the things you said. They think about your reactions, your expressions, and the little moments that others might easily forget. They search for signs from you, even if they would never openly admit it. They may pretend that everything is normal, but deep inside, they are moved by your presence more than they are willing to reveal. And yet there is something they are struggling to accept. There is one thing causing hesitation inside them. It is connected to the way you appear, but not in the way your mind may immediately assume. Before you let fear take control, before you create painful explanations inside your imagination, listen carefully, because the reality is far deeper than what you may first believe. This is not about being perfect. This is not about fitting into the unrealistic standards that society places on people. This is not about changing yourself to become someone else's idea of beauty. No, this is connected to something much more powerful. It is about what your appearance symbolizes, what your presence shows, and what feelings you awaken in another person. If you have ever felt like someone judged you because of the way you look, if you have ever wondered whether someone could truly accept you exactly as you are, leave a comment and remind yourself that your worth has never been determined by another person's opinion. Because the surprising truth is this: the very thing they struggle to understand about you is also the same thing that continues to draw them toward you more and more with each passing day. Yes, you heard that correctly. The thing they question is also the thing they cannot stop thinking about. Do not rush away from this message, because the next part may help you see yourself from an entirely different perspective. This person notices things about you that most people never take the time to notice. Other people may notice your smile, but this person notices the emotions hidden behind that smile. Others may hear your laughter, but they can sense the feelings you keep buried underneath it. Others may look at you for a moment and move on, but this person notices even the smallest details, because those details carry meaning for them. And that is what makes them uncomfortable. Because caring about you feels powerful. It feels intense. It feels like something they cannot easily control. You have a presence that goes deeper than appearances. Without even trying, you make people confront emotions they have avoided for years. You remind them of truths they may not be ready to accept. The feature they have difficulty with is not truly a physical feature. It is the story behind it. It is the emotion attached to it. It is what that part of you reveals about your experiences, your resilience, and your journey. Maybe it is the tiredness in your eyes that shows everything you have endured. Maybe it is the way you remain strong, even when you are quietly carrying pain. Maybe it is the little insecurity you assume everyone overlooks. but somehow they noticed it right away. They saw what everyone else overlooked. They noticed the parts of yourself you tried to conceal, and that realization touched them deeply, because they were not expecting someone like you to enter their world. They were accustomed to easy connections. They were comfortable with conversations that remained on the surface. They were familiar with people who only showed the most comfortable parts of themselves. They expected something short-lived. They expected something easy to predict. Then you appeared, and suddenly everything felt different. Their emotions became more difficult to understand. Their thoughts became more difficult to control. Their usual ways of protecting themselves stopped working because your presence reached a place inside them that they had kept shut for a long time. There are moments when this person looks at your pictures for longer than they intended. Not because they are looking for flaws, not because they are criticizing you. They are looking because they are trying to figure out why your face creates feelings they cannot fully express. They wonder why your expression stays in their mind. They wonder why your presence feels familiar. They wonder why someone they cannot fully explain has become someone they cannot simply forget. These thoughts continue replaying in their mind again and again without any pause. And the hardest part for them is realizing how powerless they feel because they always wanted to remain in control of everything around them. But love never waits for approval before entering someone's heart. It does not seek permission. It arrives unexpectedly, quietly, and sometimes in the most overwhelming manner. And now they find themselves caught between distancing themselves from you and finally accepting you completely. But here is the truth that nobody expected. The very thing they struggled to understand about your appearance is actually tied to something much deeper within their own past. You remind them of emotions they buried and attempted to forget for years. Not because you caused any pain, but because your presence brings back feelings they thought had disappeared forever. That is why they sometimes watch you quietly. That is why they suddenly become silent when they are near you. That is why they appear emotionally moved whenever you are around. It was never simple rejection. It was a mix of fear, confusion, and a powerful feeling they could not explain. And the moment they finally accept this reality, everything begins to transform inside them. Their silence starts changing. Their attitude starts shifting. Their actions begin revealing what they have been hiding, because deep down they already understand that replacing you cannot be done. No one else carries that same energy you carry. No one else makes them feel understood in the way you do. No one else touches the hidden parts of their soul the way you have. And even though they are still struggling with their emotions right now, their heart has already been quietly making a choice. Stay until the end, because something even more meaningful is about to be revealed. There is a reason you found these words tonight. There is a reason something inside you needed to hear this message at this very moment. For far too long, you have questioned your own value because of insecurities connected to your appearance. For far too long, you may have believed that love is reserved only for those who appear flawless from the outside. But real love does not begin with perfection. It begins when someone recognizes something genuine and meaningful within you. And this person has noticed something rare about you, something unforgettable, something they cannot easily ignore. That is why their feelings keep returning, even when they try to put distance between you. Because your presence stays with them. It remains in their thoughts during silence, during separation, and even during moments when they try to deny what they feel. And tonight, whether you understand it yet or not, something has already started shifting inside this connection. The bond between you is gradually changing. Their walls are becoming weaker with time. Their emotions are becoming stronger with each passing day. And soon, they will have to face the choice they have been trying to avoid. Will they continue hiding from these feelings, or will they finally face the truth they have been resisting all along? That they genuinely love you. Not because of perfection, and not despite the thing about your appearance they once struggled with, but in many unexpected ways, because of it. And when that realization finally reaches their heart completely, it will become difficult for them to ignore what they feel for you anymore. There is something they have never openly confessed, something they hide every single time they look at you for longer than they should. And tonight, you are going to understand the reason behind it. Do not skip any portion of this message because this person appears perfectly normal around everyone else. They seem calm, composed, and unaffected by the everyday situations around them. But when it comes to you, everything shifts. Their feelings become harder to control, their thoughts become louder, their heart begins reacting in ways they cannot easily understand. And the most surprising part is that it often begins with one little detail about your appearance that they cannot stop recalling. Not because that detail pushes them away, but because it pulls them closer in a way they never expected. Type yes if you want to know why they cannot stop thinking about you. Because this connection is much deeper and stronger than you currently realize. Whenever they see you, something inside them shifts. They notice things that other people totally overlook. They notice the gentleness in your eyes when you pretend everything is fine. They notice the unspoken emotions behind your confidence. They notice the quiet stories your appearance reveals without you saying a single word. And that is what overwhelms them the most, because they know this is not just ordinary attraction. This feels like a profound emotional recognition, something much more powerful than basic interest. Stay until the end, because the next truth may change the way you see this entire situation. There are moments when this person attempts to convince themselves that they can move forward without you. They keep themselves occupied. They fill their days with activities to avoid thinking about you. They try to focus on other interactions and other people around them. But somehow, no matter where they go or what they do, their thoughts somehow return to you. Why does this keep happening? Because your appearance carries something they cannot easily find anywhere else. Not an illusion, not a fantasy, not some impossible idea of perfection, but something genuine, authentic, and real. You feel real to them. And in a world where so many things feel temporary, genuine connection has become incredibly rare. Do you know what truly frightens people the most? It is not rejection. It is not distance. It is not even silence. The thing that frightens them most is discovering someone who can truly reach the deepest places of their soul. And that is exactly what happened when they met you. Your presence touched emotions inside them that they believed nobody would ever understand. You reached places within them that they had guarded for a very long time. And now, no matter how hard they try, they cannot fully escape what they feel. Do not skip this part because something important is waiting for you. This person remembers the first moment when they genuinely noticed you. Maybe at that time, you thought it was just a normal moment. Maybe you believed nothing meaningful happened that day. But for them, something shifted. In one simple moment, they saw something in your appearance that felt strangely familiar to their heart. They saw a gentle sadness. They saw a kind nature. They saw a strength that never needed to announce itself. And suddenly, without warning, an emotional connection started forming inside them. That is why they see you differently from everyone else. That is why their eyes sometimes pause when they see you. That is why their whole energy shifts whenever you are close, even when they desperately try to conceal it. Because your presence awakens emotions they buried deep within themselves many years ago. Listen carefully now, because this next part matters far more than you may realize. The part they struggle most to accept is connected to just how deeply they already care about you. If they had no feelings for you, none of this would affect them in the way it does. But the truth is, it affects them constantly, practically every single day, and they are making so much effort to hide it from the people around them. At times, they create distance because your beauty feels overwhelming to them on an emotional level. Not beauty in the ordinary way people usually describe it, but something much deeper than ordinary beauty. The kind that reaches someone's heart without requiring an explanation. The kind that stays inside someone's thoughts during the quiet hours of the night. The kind that returns during moments of silence. The kind that has the ability to transform someone forever. Stay until the end, because what comes next may reveal something you never expected. Very soon, this person is going to show emotions they have been carefully keeping hidden for a long time. It may not happen through a direct confession at first. It could appear through a small gesture, a message they send, a meaningful look, or a moment of honesty they never intended to reveal. But when that moment arrives, you will finally understand something surprising. They were never really criticizing your appearance. They were fighting their own emotions deep inside. They were trying to protect themselves from becoming too emotionally vulnerable, because deep down, they already know you are different from anyone else they have ever encountered. And once someone recognizes a connection like that, it becomes almost impossible to simply walk away from it. This person quietly worries that you do not fully recognize your own value. They notice how often you judge yourself. They notice the insecurities you conceal behind your laughter and confidence. They notice the moments when you step away from attention because you are afraid others may misunderstand you. And every time they notice those things, their feelings become even stronger, because your imperfections are part of what makes you real. Your humanity is exactly what makes you memorable. The things you think of as flaws are the very things that make you impossible for them to forget. Do not leave yet, because the biggest realization is still waiting ahead. When the world becomes quiet and everyone else is asleep, this person keeps returning to one thought again and again. What happens if I lose this person? That question stays with them, because even with all their uncertainty, even with their fears, and even with their attempts to resist their emotions, their heart has already quietly made a choice. They already know it. That is why your appearance impacts them so deeply. It is not because they see something imperfect. It is because they see something honest, something deeply genuine, something they cannot ignore. You remind them that love is not created by perfection on the outside. Love is built through connection, understanding, and the experience of being truly seen. And somehow, you make them feel understood in a way they have never experienced before. Share this with someone who struggles with their confidence because of how they see themselves. Something important is drawing closer, because the distance between you is not forever. The silence will not last forever. The uncertainty will not remain forever either. A significant shift is coming. And when that moment happens, this person will no longer be able to pretend that you have no effect on them. They will stop hiding behind their emotional barriers. They will stop avoiding the connection that already exists between you, because some people enter our lives only for a short period of time. But others leave a mark on our soul that can remain forever. Whether they admit it today or realize it later, you have already become someone they cannot easily forget. That is the deeper reality. They cannot continue escaping it. You were never meant to discover this truth so quickly, but the signs have become too obvious to ignore. There is someone who pays more attention to your silence than to your words. Someone who acts as if they are emotionally distant while secretly becoming more connected to you with each passing day. And tonight, the hidden reason behind their actions is finally starting to reveal itself. Do not skip this. Stay until the end, because something meaningful is waiting for you. This person has attempted everything to control what they feel. They kept telling themselves it was only temporary. They convinced themselves that perhaps they were imagining the bond between you. They tried to let logic win over emotion. But every time they see you, everything they tried to suppress comes rushing back. Because there is one thing about your appearance that they cannot emotionally escape from. Not because it creates discomfort, but because it reaches a place inside them that they cannot protect. And the most surprising truth is this. They are afraid that if they fully accept just how deeply you affect them, they may never be able to let you go from their heart. Yes, that is the secret they have been keeping hidden. Pay very close attention now. Every time you enter a room, this person immediately notices a change in the atmosphere. They do not even have to try anymore. Their attention naturally drifts toward you. Their eyes instinctively search for you. Their emotions respond before their mind even has a chance to control them. And what affects them the most is knowing that you probably have no idea what is happening inside them. You see someone who appears calm and unaffected, but beneath that calmness exists a quiet storm of emotions. Do not leave now, because the next truth can change the way you see everything. The part of your appearance that they struggle most to accept is connected to your ability to make them feel vulnerable. Maybe it is the gentleness reflected within your eyes. Maybe it is the way you look when you are carrying the weight of difficult moments in life. Maybe it is the quiet emotion quietly hidden behind your smile. Whatever it is, it creates within them a strong feeling of wanting to protect you. And that feeling frightens them more than anything, because when someone begins to care deeply for another person, they also become capable of being hurt deeply. That is why this person sometimes becomes distant without explanation. It is not because their feelings disappeared. It is not because they stopped caring. It is because those feelings became stronger, deeper, and more real than they expected. And when emotions become too powerful, some people do not immediately move closer. Sometimes they step back because they are trying to understand more clearly what is happening inside their own heart. They are trying to regain control over something that already seems beyond their control. The truth is, you reached a part of them that they were not prepared to reveal. You touched emotions they believed they had buried. You awakened feelings they never expected to experience again. And that is why your presence remains with them, even when you are not physically around. Your voice, your expressions, your energy, and even the smallest details about you continue returning to their thoughts. They may try to distract themselves, but the connection keeps reminding them that something meaningful exists between the two of you. They are not simply remembering how you look. They are remembering how they feel whenever they are near you. And that feeling is what they cannot escape. Because sometimes the person who affects us most deeply is not the person who tries the hardest to impress us. It is the person who simply exists as their genuine, authentic self. The person whose presence feels different. The person who makes us feel something we cannot easily put into words. And for this person, that person is you. That is why the feelings do not simply disappear when you leave the room. They may try to return to their normal routine, distract themselves with other people, or convince themselves that nothing meaningful is happening. But the emotional impression remains. Your presence has become connected to feelings they cannot easily explain, and the more they try to push those feelings away, the more clearly they seem to return. This does not mean you need to chase them, prove anything, or wait endlessly for a particular outcome. What matters most is that you continue to recognize your own value without depending on another person's reaction to confirm it. If someone genuinely cares, their actions will eventually speak more clearly than their hesitation. Until then, protect your peace, remain authentic, and allow people to reveal themselves through what they consistently choose to do. Sometimes, the strongest connection is the one that teaches you to stop forcing an answer and simply remain grounded in who you are. You do not need to become someone else to be worthy of being loved. You do not need to hide your imperfections, change your personality, or constantly wonder whether you are enough. The very qualities you question may be the qualities another person remembers most. Your natural presence, your honesty, your kindness, and the way you carry yourself can leave a deeper impression than anything you could deliberately perform. And perhaps that is the most meaningful part of all. You may never know every thought that passes through someone's mind, and you do not have to. What you can know is yourself. You can choose confidence over constant doubt, peace over endless speculation, and self-respect over trying to control another person's emotions. If there is something real between two people, It does not need to be forced into existence. It will reveal itself through time, consistency, honesty, and genuine effort.